Finally, part 4 of the series. The last talking point for this series is about selected technologies and their effect on service delivery. And just a reminder again, find the information in the textbook on screen. The first one we will have a look at is the big one, the big talking point all over the world, AI, artificial intelligence. Well, this has been around for a while, but with the invention and reconstruction and improvement of ChatGPT, this is a discussion point really on everybody's lips at this stage. And this will significantly impact service delivery in the future. But in any case, it is when a machine shows aspects of human intelligence, but this we know. What are examples? So personal or virtual assistants, Google Assistant, Siri, and also Alexa, which is very popular. Chatbots, some integration of this in our websites that you visit, perhaps. Autonomous vehicles with reference to the Tesla self-driving vehicle. Of course, a lot of issues with accidents or along those lines. So a lot of testing needed for that. Again, in logistics management, there is also self-driving trucks, which is interesting. It can detect traffic and at some instances, or in some instances rather, determine when to switch lanes and of course navigate itself. But at this stage, there still needs to be a driver because it's in the testing phase to make sure to avoid collision and, well, casualties in terms of pedestrians or other vehicles. So this is being tested. The point is, it's there. The future is here. There's also integration of AI in terms of fraud detection and then also predictive maintenance. An example in Africa is Third Eye Kenya. They have drones that surveil farmland, and they can use predictions and monitor the farmlands to basically provide analytics and data for better decision making from the farming side. But now, as I mentioned, OpenAI and ChatGPT, potential use cases. Again, this has been kind of a rough time for me in terms of balancing teaching and learning and research. But then I thought maybe I should ask ChatGPT, which I've been using for a while actually, if it can find my marbles, because it seems I've lost them. So, can AI or ChatGPT in this instance find my marbles? And then, of course, this was the interaction there. So if you pause the video, you can read through the lengthy response, but the end there, if all else fails, you might need to consider the possibility that your marbles are truly lost. Well, I agree, Mr. or Mrs. AI. In that case, you could try purchasing new ones or looking for replacements online. Well, if AI can't think for me, I don't know where I will find my mental marbles. So yes, of course, it does not understand what I meant with this. So it needs a bit tweaking to understand the difference between mental marbles and physical marbles. In any case, play around with it, openai.com. If I recall, it is fun. Another consideration, do consumers accept service robots? Would they be open to being served instead of by a person, but by a robot? And also, what is the viability for nations? I think in first world countries, this is obviously possible. But in developing and third world nations, including South Africa, perhaps, we still have to make sure our foundational service delivery is in place before we can consider these advanced service solutions. Again, the examples there, virtual assistants, Google Assistants, Alexa, and then Siri to execute verbal commands. Now integrated with smart homes and eventually smart cities, all conduct might be contactless because humans would then just give verbal instructions, commands, or prompts, and everything will be automated. Another example that I personally would find extremely valuable and of course integrated with a virtual assistant is for a robot vacuum. So there's the Roomba. It uses sensors and algorithms to navigate and clean floors without human intervention. But of course, a lot of jokes and funny videos on YouTube about this, where maybe it finds a corner it can't get itself out of and then it just it's stuck over there. Other examples like Pepper, the social robot. They are designed to interact with humans in public spaces, providing information and entertainment. So, of course, imagine how boring it would be for a person to answer the same question all over and over again at a theme park, as an example. These service robots can usually be very valuable in these cases, but then again, the ethical side of this and the moral side of this is it is replacing human jobs that some countries desperately need because of the high unemployment rates. I also think, in line with social robots, which could be FAQ robots as well, are personal care robots. Like the ELIC provides companionship and assistance to elderly people. I think this is incredibly important because a lot of, sadly, elderly people are abandoned or they do not have offspring. Then they end up alone rather. So personal care robots that can serve as a companion can really be helpful for their mental health. I think this could also help them live independently. So taking it further from companionship, these could be that provide actual assistance when they are programmed and then can interact as well. We also have retail robots like Tally. It monitors store shelves and restocks items as needed, providing inventory management. Another tedious task in retail is this annual or monthly or quarterly stock taking. So countless hours spent at night or weekends having the business either have to pay overtime or close for an entire day and lose income, with staff having to count itty-bitty packs of whatever the case may be. So retail robots can really be useful in terms of stock taking and inventory management, and this will also mitigate human error, because when you do this late at night, you become tired and you might miss some things or capture the information incorrectly. We also have warehouse robots, which also similarly help with inventory management, but we have Kiva over there. They can move goods around warehouses. Of course, naturally, this has to be a stronger design robot to move heavier goods around and I forgot the word now, pallets. They can move around the pallets, and this can also increase efficiency and reducing labor costs. But again, it's the same ethical consideration as to we should avoid replacing human employment. But if this is done properly, more personnel or people or employees can be trained in IT or coding that can design and maintain the robots. So robots, while they can assist with human tasks, they can't maintain themselves unless it becomes that advanced. So we need more skilled employees to code and manage these systems and AI. How do consumers feel about it? Not sure. We would have to review a few research and literature about this. So if you reflect yourself, do you like it or are you opposed to this? Then big data. This will be covered in a way later episode because there's so much to tackle with big data. But a quick glance, we have a look at volume. So this is the size of the data, velocity, the speed at which data is gathered. So with the technological advancements we have, data is collected instantly. Unless you have primary collection, which takes months or years, web data is collected instantly and stored instantly. And also this links with variety. A lot of metrics being collected and analyzed accordingly, but also demographic, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive data being gathered. But then the veracity, how accurate is the data? We don't know. It needs to be analyzed with analytics software like GA4, Google Universal Analytics, that changed now in 2023 to GA4, Google Analytics 4. Then value, is the data useful? What can the business or organization do with it? Then validity in terms of data quality, governance, master data, I don't know if that, master data management on Massive, that's probably a thing. Then variability, is the data dynamic? Is it evolving behavior is there evolving behavior in the data source really? Then venue, distributed, heterogeneous, data from multiple platforms. Of course, with web or data analytics, you have data gathered or obtained from the website, but also off-site analytics where data is gathered from, for example, email marketing, social media platforms, and various other sources. Then also the vocabulary, data models, semantics that describe the data structure. Can all the analysts interpret this? Is it coded properly? And then the vagueness. So is there confusion over managing big data and the tools they need to use? So again, as I mentioned, this will be covered slightly later. And once this is available, I am going to upload that. So again, hopefully you can reflect on the integration of AI and how you feel about service robots, and then search a little bit on big data. And as a consumer, just increase your awareness as to what data is captured every time you visit a site. Thanks for watching.